Welcome to Coach's Corner with Jay, featuring Seminole head football coach Jay Circosta. Host for Coach's Corner, Lance LaFollette. We'll be right back with Lance and Coach Jay.
Let Swiss Lands Realty help you find what you need. A beautifully landscaped lawn surrounds this house in Woodsfield. The property is on 2 lots and has a huge 2-stall garage. Inside, this 3-bedroom ranch has 2.5 baths, a large living room, kitchen dining area, a storage room, and a utility room. New cool vent windows and new doors, another big plus. Beautifully maintained, this home is ready for you to unlock the door and move in. We take listings on all types of property at Swiss Lands Realty, 472-0614.
The Ford Factory clearance sale is going on now at Knowlton Ford Mercury with only a few 95s left and rebates up to $2,000. All 95 demos will be sold. Knowlton's offers low interest rates, award-winning service after the sale, and no high-pressure salespeople. Let Knowlton's know your transportation needs in new and used cars and trucks. Tell them what you're looking for and what price. They'll do the shopping for you. Call Knowlton Ford Mercury, 472-0783.
Thinking of building, buying, or remodeling? We can help with the cash you need at Woodsfield Savings and Loan, 105 West Court Street. We offer prompt, expert service and make every attempt to avoid red tape. We make it easy to obtain a mortgage loan or to receive a construction loan for the house of your dreams. Come to Woodsfield Savings and Loan for help with your future as we prepare for our future, facility and services. A new location, drive-through convenience and checking, but that same personal attention you've always counted on from Woodsfield Savings and Loan.
Good evening and welcome to Coach's Corner. I'm your host Lance LaFollette, and tonight Coach and I will be discussing last week's surprisingly easy 35-0 win over the Fort Frye Cadets, taking a look ahead at the Waterford Wildcats, this week's opponent, and talking to a few of last week's stars. Coach, I didn't think we even dreamed that things would go the way they did Friday night. Great job, both sides of the ball.
Well, that's true. I don't think anybody expected it to be as easy as it ended up being. For the fact that Fort Frye was a 3-1 football team coming in, they were, as we talked on last week's show, a very big physical football team. We didn't feel they had a lot of quickness, and that we felt was something going in our favor. That they had rolled up some numbers rushing the football. They hadn't thrown the football very much. We did a lot of preparing against stopping the run and did a real nice job of that. And I feel that, we kind of dictated at the beginning of the game how things were going to go, and it wasn't much easier than what we anticipated at the beginning.
Well, they came out in that 8-man front, basically, that we had expected them to come out in. We come out, line up in twins, and Joe does a nice job getting the ball outside, and I think we sort of caught him by surprise there. Am I correct? I mean, did that open things up for the other plays?
Yeah, we anticipated them doing what they had done in the past, and that was put a lot of people on the line of scrimmage, try to stop our run. They knew that we like to run the football, and they did just that, although they didn't stack up as tight as we thought they would, but they seemed to even be a little bit confused with their defense. I don't know whether they did some things a little differently than what they had done in the past, and they seemed to have some people out of position and moving around. We kind of, in scouting them, we looked at trying to get the ball out in the flat. They didn't have very good coverage on that, so we put a couple new little wrinkles in, got the ball out there, hurt them, got the ball down the field, and then, of course, the running game took over. Probably the one thing that I was more pleased with than anything on the night was the fact that our defense came alive, and I think for the first time this year, we played some good old-fashioned defense like we're used to playing. And I think throughout the course of the evening, the fans saw several real nice hits. And I think, as I said earlier, we set the tone by the type of defense we played. And in fact, I think we put several good hits on them that I don't think they were really in a position to want to carry the football. And I think that did kind of dictate how things went the remainder of the evening.
I think a big concern the last few weeks has been the fact that we've had several injuries. And there were even some question marks going into Friday night's game. I don't recall any injuries this week. We were able to get a lot of rest for a lot of these guys also and get some of the younger kids some quality playing time in there. So we should be in pretty good shape again this week then, I would hope.
Yeah, we came out pretty good, Lance, as far as injuries are concerned, and is oftentimes the case when you have a big win and an easier win like we had Friday night. It's for some reason you don't seem to get as many people banged up as you do in a close ball game, and I think probably that's dictated by the fact that sometimes when you have hard hitting on both sides of the ball, then you have more people get banged up. But I think we did come out in pretty good shape, and we should have everyone pretty much 100% as far as this week is concerned versus Waterford, and that's a key. No one realizes how important it is to stay healthy week in and week out, and if you get anybody banged up, it makes for a different game plan, and that makes it kind of tough.
Well, that's a nice situation to be in where we get in and get a nice lead right after the half. We were able to get a lot of the younger guys in, a lot of freshmen and sophomores, and that can only help the program, I mean, down the road.
That's true. We have a reserve schedule, which I might add at this point in time, our reserves are doing extremely well. They got another win this past Monday night with a win over Bellsville, and our reserve team is 3-1 at this point, only losing one ball game, and that was the first game of the year against a predominantly sophomore and junior team from Tyler. But that gives them game experience, and then anytime you can get the younger kids into the game on Friday night, that gives them game experience, and there's nothing that replaces that game experience to give the people that you're going to look for in the future an opportunity to play.
Like you said, that's great that they were able to get as much time as they did, and we'll take a look at a few of those guys later in the highlights. We're going to take a short break right now, and we'll be back with a couple of the stars of the game from last week's 35-0 win.
These days, it seems like everyone is looking for a bargain. You can spend a lot of time shopping for high quality and low prices, even for gasoline. Red Hat in Woodsfield has 100% pure gasoline at low prices. While you're there, save on car care products, including oil, fluids, additives, and more. Soft drinks are discounted every day at the Red Hat. Stock up on your favorite pop and snacks. Even Fido gets a break with Champion dog food at big savings. So stop at the Red Hat today and save.
Frye Drugs is your locally owned full-service discount price drugstore. Call 472-0417 for 24-hour emergency service. We'll be here for you. Delivery and mail-out services are available. We stock wheelchairs, hospital beds, canes, crutches, and other accessories. Retirees ask Joe or Tom about our hassle-free Aetna prescription service. As a leader chain store, we bring you bargain prices on an assortment of products every month. Don't forget to bring us your photo finishing with 24-hour service. Frye Drugs, people you know and people you can trust with your health.
At Respects Food Market, we're proud of all we do. From our humble beginning in Woodsfield in 1929, we've grown to several stores throughout the Ohio Valley. We strive to combine the same small-town friendliness with the buying power of the chain store to give you, our friends and customers, the best of both worlds. And we take pride in our community, its people, and their accomplishments. We're proud to support all county schools and wish the Monroe Central Seminoles the best of luck. We're proud of all we do at Respects Food Market, and Seminoles, we're proud of you.
We're back with Chad Yoho. Chad, a 3-year letterman, starts both offensive and defensive tackle for the Seminoles. Chad, position that you play really on both sides of the ball, you're not going to get a lot of recognition as far as statistics. You're in sort of a non-glory position there at tackle. The fact is, though, we've had some guys the last few years that's piled up some pretty big numbers. And a lot of this, it starts with the line. That's basically what, and everybody that's a good football fan knows this. Do you find it satisfying to open these holes for these guys?
Yeah, very much so. I've bluffed for these guys now for 3 years, especially Luke and Dustin, and them putting up the big numbers, being able to read the newspaper and seeing they got the yards that game, knowing that the line did their job. So.
Well, you have done a real nice job, and I think the other guys on the line look towards you for some leadership simply because you have all the experience up there. Getting a little time on defense this year as well. I know you played there some last year, but as a full-time starter this year, you find you prefer offense or defense more?
Well, I'm more comfortable in offense playing there 3 years, but I like defense. Last year I started out there, and then the injury, coach made me just back to strictly out. And then this year I'm starting both ways, but as far as comfortable, I like offense, but I like defense because you get to hit somebody.
I'll tell you, you've done a real nice job for us this year so far, and as you'll see in the highlights here, there's some nice plays from both sides of the ball. So I hope to see you keep improving and keep leading these guys, in the right direction. Coach?
Well, Lance, as you mentioned, Chad's been around for a while, and he's really kind of like the president of the offense and defensive linemen since he's been around quite a while. And Chad has improved each year and with each game. And we really had the opportunity to see Chad in a role defensively this past week against Fort Frye that we like to see him in, and that was a role of doing a real good job at defensive tackle. He played off a lot of blocks. He was in on a lot of action. He made a couple real nice hits, and he made his presence known. And he's the type of football player that can really make a difference on our ball club defensively. And we hope to see that type of play out of Chad for the remainder of the season. Offensively, as you mentioned earlier, and I think as you mentioned, any good fan or any good football person knows that your offensive backfield is only as good as your offensive line. And I feel that our offensive line, not talking about Chad, but for the most part was inexperienced in the beginning of the year. But they have continued to get better, and Chad's been a leader of that offensive line. And if he continues to do the type of thing that he's done throughout the first half of the season, in the second half of the season, I think you can see some even bigger numbers go up on the board as far as offensive statistics are concerned. But that's what it takes. It takes somebody up front. He's gotten better at pulling and trapping, and he does a real nice job pass blocking. He just does a lot of things well, and he has nice size to go with it. And so, we look to him for a lot of leadership, both on the offense and defensive side of the ball. So I think he's going to continue to do a real nice job for us throughout the remainder of the season. And Chad and I, we have kind of a little running battle, so to speak, going on from the beginning of the year. He's a very likable young man, and he doesn't miss a trick. He kind of keeps after everything. So I had to catch him on a few little tricks myself, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, what's the score right now, Chad?
About 12-2.
12-2 in favor of who, Chad?
Okay.
Okay, well, we'll give Chad an opportunity to catch up as the season goes on, but he's a real fine young man and a joy to have around.
Well, Chad, I want to thank you for being on. Appreciate you taking the time to come out this evening. Good luck this week against Waterford, and hope things keep going the way they're going.
Thanks.
We'll be right back with Sam Scott.
Just like the Monroe Central Criminals, we can be a winner at Loveday Motors.
Win big with Loveday's large selection of new or used cars, trucks, and vans. Win big with service after the sale. Loveday's in Woodsfield takes pride in their community and in their dedication to serving you.
Be a winner at Loveday Motors.
We're back with senior nose guard Sam Scott. When you look out on the field on Friday evenings, you see Chad Yoho on one side, you see Chris Demmerling on another side, a lot of size up there, and then you see that number 40, who isn't real big, yet when you hear the play called and who made the tackle, you seem to more and more hear that it was number 40, Sam Scott. Sam, like I mentioned, you're not real big, yet things seem to be coming for you. How do you explain this?
Well, I think each game I'm gaining more experience and learn a lot more about what to do at my position. It helps me a lot.
Well, I'm sure when you try something and it works, then you come back and try it again, and that experience has got to be something that helps a lot. So I want to commend you on a real nice job that you're doing. Like I said, it just gets better every week. Noticed you got to play a little bit of defensive end there last Friday night. Is that something that we can look more towards, or?
Well, I just play defense end in the 40 defense. So.
You have some pass responsibilities there?
No, I just have outside containment. I'm supposed to make everybody go inside of me.
Okay. Coach?
Well, Sam doesn't have the luxury of having a lot of experience like some of the other players do, because last year was his first year. And we were very happy to have him come out last year. And he didn't get a lot of playing time, a lot of varsity action, didn't get a lot of playing time in our reserve games. And we saw him come along each and every game. By the end of the year, we felt that he had gained a lot of valuable experience. And we gave him a shot at the nose guard or middle guard position this year on defense. And as you mentioned, Lance, he's not real big, but if you're tough and you're quick in this game, you don't have to be real big. You can still play and be effective. And Sam is doing a better job each week. There were a few things we were concerned about that he maybe wasn't doing at the beginning of the year, but he seemed to get those down a little bit and is doing a much better job. For an example, when we were running a go game, we like our middle guards to be real quick and not have any contact with the center and get in the gap as quickly as they can. And he really wasn't doing that the way we wanted him to do that at the beginning of the year, but he's improved on that over the past weeks, and I think you've seen him go in there and make some big plays. And as you mentioned, when we're in our 40 defense, he'll line up at the defensive end. He lacks a lot of experience there because that's a little tougher position to play because of responsibility. If they run the option, or if they roll to your side, or if they roll away, and a lot of different things, run off tackle, and so there's a lot of different things involved there. But I think he's, with each game, feeling a little more comfortable there too. But Sam's a very coachable young man, and you don't hear anything from him. He speaks with his action on the field. He just goes out every day and practices, and he gives everything he has as far as the games are concerned. And he doesn't complain, and he'll just do a good job week in and week out. So we feel with the experience he got last year and the experience he's received in the first 5 games this year will make for even better play for him at that middle guard position for the remainder of the year. And again, we're very happy that he became a part of the football program, and we just wish he had a few more years, because I know he'd get better and better every game.
Well, Sam, I want to thank you for coming on. You're a real pleasure to watch out there. It brings back some memories of some other fine nose guards. You're really fitting the bill. So congratulations. Thanks for being on. Good luck Friday night. And we'll be right back to take a look at a few highlights from the Fort Frye game.
The F.W. Shoemaker Insurance Agency was established in 1903. They have 3 agents and 3 customer service representatives to give you the kind of service you deserve. Being an independent insurance agency means they represent different companies, allowing them to compare for you. For all of your insurance needs, auto, home, life, bonds, business, or farms, contact F.W. Shoemaker Insurance Agency at 472-0876. You already know that Woodsfield Ashland has 100% pure gasoline along with kerosene and diesel fuel. And you know about Kirk's homemade ice cream available in more than 27 flavors. And about their great pizza. Call ahead at 472-1745 to order your pizza to eat before or after the game. But did you know that Ashland's the place for fantastic hamburgers cooked in just 45 seconds? Now that's fast food. And for dessert, top it off with Southern shaved ice in lots of flavors. For ice cream, pizza, hamburgers, or Southern snow, go to the Ashland right now. They're open till 11:30 Monday through Saturday until 10 on Sunday.
Coach Dustin Robinson catches a pass out of the slot.
Here, it's a new little wrinkle that we put in this week because of the type of defense they were playing, and they kind of played right into our hand. Joe zipped the ball out to Dustin. He does a nice job of catching the ball and get it upfield for a few more yards, which was a big play there for us.
Coach, here's the same play on the other side of the field.
Yeah, the exact same play we ran earlier. We come back to it, and again, Joe gets the ball out to Dustin, does a real nice job of eluding a tackler there and keeping his balance, and another big gain for us.
Joe Crest comes up with a big run.
Each week, Joe's doing a better job running the option. Here we fake inside the Luke. He comes out, and he tucks it away. We get a nice block right there, and he takes it on in, shows nice speed in the end zone for a touchdown. Here's a shot of our new scoreboard this year, supplied to us by Coca-Cola, Cameron Coca-Cola. You see, we didn't have the top sign up earlier, and nor the bottom sign, but now we do have the Monroe Central Seminoles with the helmet sign on top, and the Coca-Cola across the bottom, and of course the tomahawks chopping overhead.
Eric Kramer does a real nice job on the kickoff.
This is one phase of the game that we haven't been doing a real good job. We haven't been getting down quick enough. You'll see here Eric does a good job of busting up the wedge, gets completely knocked down, gets back up, and ends up making the tackle. That's a super effort on Eric's part, and we need more of that from people on our kickoff team, better coverage to get the job done on the kickoff team.
Sam Scott makes a nice play on defense.
This is that go game that I was talking about, and Sam and Luke both do a real nice job. Sam gets in the gap, grabs him by the ankles, and Luke does a nice job on a go game to the other side and stops him up top.
Dustin Robinson picks up big yards for the Noles.
And we're running out of the power I formation here. Fake inside to Luke, give it to Dustin, and he bounces outside, eludes one tackler, runs by another person before he's brought down across the 40-yard line.
Joe Kress hooks up with Keith Lazier for another score.
Again, out of the power I formation, we had the run established enough that we ran a little play action pass here. Joe did a nice job getting around the defensive end, throws the ball out to Keith, and Keith takes it on across the goal line for a touchdown.
The Noles go for two.
Earlier we ran the option, and Joe kept the ball for a touchdown. This time we run the option out of motion, fake the ball inside to Luke. He pitches because he got pressure real quick, and Dustin takes it in the corner, the end zone for a two-point conversion.
Coach, the go game works again.
Yeah, this is exactly the way the go game should work. And here Luke does a nice job of getting in there quickly and sticking the shoulder in. Good form tackle, and makes the running back from Fort Frye pay.
Coach, on the same series, Jamie Brewer comes up the big play.
We've been trying to get our defensive ends to do this all year long, and Jamie stays at home. He reads real well and comes up with a sack on the bootleg, which is something we had prepared for and we knew they were going to try to do.
Will Weddle has a nice pickup.
And here Joe could have gone to one or two receivers, either Keith deep or Will underneath. He elected to go to Will, which was a nice choice, and Will took the ball upfield for a nice sizable gain.
Kress and Lazier hook up again.
And here we catch him again with a lot of people on the line of scrimmage, close to the offensive line of scrimmage, and then we throw the ball in play action pass and get Keith open on the backside. Keith shows some speed and takes it on in for a touchdown. Nice pass catch combination.
Will Weddle comes up big on 3rd and 1.
And here we put a lot of people up on the line of scrimmage. Luke does a nice job inside and they pick him up, but Will does a real nice job getting to the outside and gets a CBL on a good runner, Dusky.
Luke Shoemaker goes for a long run.
This is a fine run here, nullified by a holding penalty, but Luke does a real nice job behind Chad Yoho and a couple other blockers and cuts back right here, takes it upfield, like I say, all for naught because of a holding penalty.
The Noles get some good pressure on the Fort Frye quarterback.
And here Sam Scott does a real fine job getting in real quick, and he gets also help with pressure from Eric Kramer and Chad Yoho. They were all around the football.
Luke Shoemaker runs for a nice gain.
And here we set up the option by giving the ball inside of Luke, and he bounces off of one tackler and does a real nice job here, and that kind of sets a tone for the upcoming option. As we said, we set up the option on the play before, and here if you'll watch Chad Yoho at the right tackle, number 76, does a good job of burying his man down inside. Joe gets a step on the outside. They come on Joe, and he pitches the ball back to Dustin, and Dustin does the rest here and almost breaks it all the way for a touchdown.
Keith Lazier catches what could have been his 3rd touchdown.
Joe and Keith kind of checked off here. We had one play called, and they gave a little different look in the secondary. Came up tight. Keith went deep, and Joe hit him in the end zone for a touchdown. Unfortunately for us, we had a penalty on the play, and it brought that good effort by both Keith and Joe back.
Lazier comes back to make an acrobatic grab.
This is a fine catch here, as finest catch you'll see in college or pros. Joe rolls to his right and sticks the ball into Keith, and you just barely see here Keith gets both feet in bounds, makes a super catch on the sidelines.
Dustin Robinson makes a big pickup.
Here we run a little counter action with Dustin at tailback out of the rip or slot eye. He does a nice job of cutting it inside and does a real nice job of eluding a tackler there before he's brought down close to the goal line.
Luke Shoemaker takes it in for the score.
This is your basic power off tackle play here. We just reverse out, give it to Luke, and he bounces it outside and takes it in for a touch. Here again, another fine performance on the kickoff team by first player to the left of our kicker, which is Eric Kramer, and you'll watch him get down quickly and does a nice job making the tackle here, gets support from Rob Trigg. This is what we need more of on the kickoff team.
Eric Kramer does a nice job containing the run.
Now here Eric playing at a different position, defensive end, does a real nice job staying at home, steps up and allows the defense to get pursued, and he makes the tackle here.
Demmerling cleans up nice on this play.
And here Eric Kramer does a real good job of kind of stopping the ball carrier as he cuts back, and there Chris Demmerling comes and does a nice finishing touch job there.
Luke Shoemaker breaks free for a second long run in 2 weeks.
Same play that he broke free last week against Caldwell, does the same thing here on a little quick trap inside. And again, Luke shows great speed and outrunning all the defenders to the end zone.
Here the Knolls play some good team D.
Now here's the kind of defense we're looking for. A lot of people doing the job at the line of scrimmage and a lot of red jerseys around the ball. That's what we like to see.
Chad Yeo makes a nice stop.
A real fine job here by Chad. You'll notice him use his hands, play off the blocker, and makes a nice hit in there for basically no gain. That's the type of defensive play we need from our defensive linemen.
Tonight's guests team up for a nice defensive play.
Here, Jamie Brewer does a real nice job as defensive end, turns him inside, and here we got pursuit from Chad Yoho, Sam Scott, and Chris Demmerling, just exactly what we want.
Jason Ludwig teams up with Nathan Arden.
Now here we have some different people in the lineup, and Jason does a nice job of getting the ball out on the out route, and Nathan makes a nice catch for a nice gain.
Chad Yoho comes up with another fine play.
Another good defensive effort here by Chad. He again stays right at home and meets the ball carrier, does a nice job of form tackling by sticking his shoulder in there and gets a nice tackle.
Eric Kramer picks up nice yardage on the sweep.
Now here we toss the ball to Eric, who's operating out of the tailback position, and we get a nice block there by John Shoemaker, and Eric takes it outside for a nice sizable gain.
Freshman Josh Jones has a nice pickup here.
Now Josh shows a lot of promise for a young running back here. He does a real nice job taking the quick trap up the middle. He's had several nice runs this year, and I think he's somebody to look at in the future.
We'll take a quick break and be right back with a look at the Waterford Wildcats.
For almost any size job, the area's most extensive fastener display is at Ager Hardware. Small engine belts in all sizes, too. And it's that time of the year for organ chains and bars and, of course, hunting licenses, shells, and accessories. Home improvements are easy with the large inventory of electrical and plumbing supplies and standard bathroom fixtures. A full line of kitchen and laundry appliances are always in stock. Custom paints for interior and exterior fall fix-ups. Special services, screen repair and glass cutting. Car wax and car care products, bikes of all kinds, and just arrived vent-free and kerosene heaters. Eggers, much more than a hardware store. At West 78 Auto Sales, we'll take anything on trade. Well, almost anything. If you're looking for a used car to fit your budget, West 78 Auto can fix you right up. Stop by and ask Dale about our financing. You buy here, you pay here. And on your way to or from the car lot, why not have a bite to eat at Hometown Restaurant, where home cooking is just like Grandma used to make. The mashed potatoes are real, the gravy doesn't come from a jar, and the homemade soup simmers to perfection. West 78 Auto and Hometown Restaurant in Woodsfield. Most of us don't spend a lot of time thinking about septic service until we really need it. Sparky's Septic Service is there when you need them with liquid waste removal, septic tank cleaning, or portable toilets. Sparky serves Eastern Ohio and the Northern Panhandle. When you need portable toilets for special events, call them at 472-0525. Remember their motto, in our business, a flush beats a full house.
We're back, and now we're ready to take a little bit of a look at this week's opponent, the Waterford Wildcats. Waterford 0-5 so far this year. Really the first time that we've gone into a game with any kind of confidence, I feel. You can never take anybody lightly. We found that out in the past, but I don't think we're facing quite the team we faced the last couple weeks.
Right. The personnel that Waterford possesses is not an experienced team. In fact, they only start a couple seniors offensively and defensively. But for week in and week out, we're going to be up against a pretty good-sized football team. And they've had their troubles this year. They're, as you mentioned, Lance, 0-5 coming in. And so they've had difficulty. They've had difficulty moving the ball on offense, and they've had difficulty stopping people on defense. They started the year off with a 35-0 loss to Eastern, and they came back the next week and lost to Southern, a close ball game, 12-6. They lost to Ridgewood, who has a good football team, 44-0. Then they were shut out by Shenandoah, 27-0 before last week's rout against Bellsville, 61-12. But let me tell you something about the last week's game against Bellsville. If you watch the game and we had an opportunity to look at the tape, and you really didn't pay much attention to the score, it appeared as though the game was a little closer than really what it was. There's no way, shape, or form that they have the type of football team that Bellsville has, but Bellsville not having their quarterback and not being at the top of their game, at times Waterford did some things offensively and defensively, and that's something we'll have to be concerned about. And I think the one thing you mentioned, Lance, is something we all have to be aware of, and I think the coaching staff is the first group of people to be aware of this, and we try to emphasize this to our young men all week, that we're going down there, and I can remember times of going down there and them coming up here that we didn't play real well against Waterford, and I think that had a lot to do with the fact that their record wasn't real good, and they turned around and gave us some troubles on different occasions. You look back to 1983, first year we were in the playoffs, and we went down there and had a much better football team what they did, but we ended up with a tie, 21-21. Probably lucky we didn't get beat. We went down there one year and had them beat until the last part of the game, and they drove 90-some yards for a touchdown and ended up beating us. Then I can remember times where they came up here and we had a much better football team, and they gave us some difficulty. And we had to one time pick up a fumble and run it back for a touchdown to get ahead and end up winning that game. So it's one of those teams that you have to be prepared for, even though the record is not real good, and it's one of those teams that can jump up and surprise you. And I'm not trying to paint a picture that Waterford is an excellent football team. Like I say, they've struggled both offensively and defensively. But it's one of those kind of teams that our young men will have to be prepared for if they're going to get the job done, because they've got too much at stake.
Well, Coach, you hit it right on the head. We've got a lot of fans that have followed the Redskins in the past. They follow the Seminoles now. I'm sure they remember real well the Waterford games that shouldn't have been what they were. who are some of the people that we need to look at?
Well, as far as offensively, I wouldn't or couldn't probably point to any one particular or several players because they are young and they have struggled offensively. They haven't really established a running game or a passing game. They've tried to do a little bit of both, so we can't be concerned about trying to stop the run. We'll have to be on our toes and try to stop the run and the pass, and we'll have to play good, solid defense. They won't give us a lot of different looks on offense, but enough that we'll have to prepare for and be on our toes. And they probably will try a couple little tricks here and there, and try to do a little bit of both, running and passing. So we're going to have to be on the alert to stop their entire offensive unit.
Do they run any certain defense that we're used to, or is it going to be something we need to adjust to this week?
Well, basically, so far, Lance, they've run a 40 defense, which we have seen quite a bit this year, and they run a little bit of a 6-man front defense, an even front defense, a 6-1. Those are two the primary formations that we'll see defensively. They also run a 50 defense occasionally, so at this point in time in the season, we've pretty much looked at about every front, odd and even front you can look at, and so our young men should be pretty well prepared to go against whatever they throw up against us. But I'm sure they're going to probably try to line up and stop the run because they know we have a talented backfield and we like to run the football, and so we may have to mix up the run with the passes as we did this past week.
Okay, well, we're halfway through the season right now. We've made it. We're 5-0. Something that you strive for and you hope for. Looking back on that first half, what are some areas that you think we need to start working on with Week 6?
Well, as I mentioned earlier in the show, one thing that we felt all along we needed to be more improved on was our defense and in our aggressiveness and going after the ball carriers and doing a lot better job of hitting. And we showed signs of doing that last week. I hope that continues, because if it does continue and get better in the second half of the season, then I think we're going to be a much better football team defensively. We've made a couple little personnel changes, nothing real major, but we're trying to move a few people around to try always, even though we're winning, we're always looking for ways to strengthen our football team, whether it be offensively or defensively. On the offensive side of the ball, naturally, I'm pleased the fact that we are putting up some numbers in the way of points and yards. I think last 2 weeks we rushed for over or had over 400 yards total offense. And the fact that we're getting a little better blend or mix of run-pass pleases me tremendously. Last week we and Luke and Dustin didn't have a lot of carries. I think Luke carried the ball 5 times, Dustin carried the ball 10 times, and that's not a lot of carries for those young men. And Joe threw the ball. Keith had a big night with receptions and touchdowns. So, it's kind of getting spread around a little bit, and we hope to continue to do that. And we have a few other people we'd like to incorporate or get involved in the offense, and that allows the defense to not zero in on any one particular person or one particular thing like run or pass. So if we can do those things, hopefully improve each and every week to become a better ball club in the second half of the season.
Okay. Well, we're going to take a short break and come back and wrap things up.
Westcourt Hair Fashion's new in name, but the same in advanced high-tech hair care products and services. Westcourt is staffed with 10 highly qualified technicians to serve their clients' different needs. Products sold only in the finest salons include Nexus, Paul Mitchell, Mercado, each with a money-back guarantee. To keep that healthy look all year round, 2 Wolf tanning beds along with the best tanning and skincare products. Call 472-5350 today to get a new you at a new name, Westcourt Hair Fashions. The weather's getting cooler, but you still have time to take advantage of True Test Weatherall House Paint, now on sale at Woodsfield True Value. And the bargain of the month is True Test Satin Latex Enamel for just $8.88, a scrubbable finish at our lowest price ever. True Test Easy Care paints are also on sale. Remember, you have over 1,000 colors to choose from. Lots of other fall specials for indoors and outdoors are waiting for you now at Woodsfield True Value, where help is just around the corner. Sale ends October 21st.
Welcome back. Coach, it's getting towards the downhill side of the season. As I mentioned, we're 5-0. a lot of things riding from here on out, and I'm sure a lot of people are following the standings and various races that we might be involved in. Can you touch on some of those for us?
Well, first of all, it is kind of hard to believe, Lance, that the season is half over and we're going into the second half of the season. After tomorrow night, we only have 4 regular season games left. That's kind of hard to believe, being it seems like the season just started not too long ago. But we are in pretty good shape at this point in time with a 5-0 record. It's a nice position to be in. And as far as the races that we're involved in, the leagues that we're involved in, we are involved in the OVAC, the PVC, and of course the state playoff ratings. As far as the OVAC is concerned, we are in AAA division. We currently are sitting in second place behind Blair, who is also undefeated. I think there's only 3 or 4 undefeated teams left in the OVAC races, and there's 2 of them in AAA. Blair's 1, the leader, and us at number 2 with 5-0 records. And it might be pretty hard or difficult to overtake Blair if they continue to win. They have an outstanding football team, and they play a schedule that is very demanding and challenging with the size schools they play. If they win out, naturally we're not going to be able to catch them. We can only hope that we continue to win, and possibly somewhere along the way they may get upended and there'll be an opportunity there for the door to open to an OVAC championship. As far as the PVC is concerned, that's up in the air in the fact that most schools just started their PVC schedules, but we're sitting in good shape there in the PVC. So with 2 wins, a 2-0 record, and we continue to win, then we have an opportunity there. The biggest thing is the state playoff, the computer ratings, which determines who gets into the state playoffs in postseason play. And right now, I think we're probably going to be sitting in first place in our region in Division 5. But things can change week to week. In fact, I think the number 2 team plays in the 5-0 team this week. So if they win, with them playing a 5-0 team and us playing an 0-5, even if we win, that probably will put them back ahead of us. So things will seesaw back and forth. And as I told the kids and everybody else, it's not important where you are at the end of week number 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9. It's in where you are after week 10. So a lot of things can happen, and we just have to stay focused on the task at hand, and that is Waterford this week. And then next week we'll turn our attentions to the next opponent and do that week in and week out. I think if our young men can stay focused, then at the end of the season, hopefully we'll have going for us what we have going for us right now.
As many good coaches have said, our goal this week is to go 1-0. I'm sure that's what we're going to go into this game looking at. We've talked about it and stressed it several times that you can't be overconfident ever. You can't be complacent. So the guys that are out there watching this evening, keep that in mind when you make the trip down there Friday night. The game is at 7:30. We've been having some nice crowds at every one of these games, and I'd like to see us get down there and maybe have a crowd that's even bigger than the home team. So we've done that several times, and it'd be nice to see us take that same type of crowd down there. The game will be seen at 11 a.m. Saturday on tape delay replay right here on Channel 6. So everybody tune in, and especially if you're not able to make it down Friday evening. Regarding last weekend, the football moms passed along, wanted me to thank everyone for their support of the Homes Tour. I guess things were a real good success. It went for a good cause, and they were very appreciative of all the support that they got from the community. So thanks a lot. Coach, good luck this week. Keep things rolling, and we'll be back here next week, hopefully for another good show.
Thanks, Lance.
All the way up to Mackinac,